Okay, I had a request to go through the cosine rule when you're trying to find a missing angle. So here's my explanation, and the very first thing I want you to do is pause the video and have a go at these top three questions, trying to find out what x is equal to, theta is equal to, and t is equal to, because we need to make sure we can do that before we start doing the more complicated stuff. So pause and have a go, try and remember, and then click play to see if you've done the same as me. Right, so if you're trying to find x here, you know that cos x is equal to root 3 over 2, so I'm going to have to use my calculator. I'm going to press shift and cos, so I get cos minus 1. So on your calculator you should have got the inverse cos function, cos minus 1, and an open bracket, and I need to put my root 3 over 2 into that. So I could either use my fraction button to make root 3 over 2, or I could have put root 3 divided by 2 in, close my bracket, click equals. If you don't get if you've done everything there and you've not got this answer of 30 here, it's possible that your calculator is not on degrees mode. I've got a little D on my screen to show that it's in degrees. So if you didn't get 30 but you did everything else that I did there, contact me and we'll try and figure out together how we can sort your calculator out. Right, so I can say here x is equal to 30 degrees then. Alright, I'm going to do the same for this. I'm going to do cos minus 1 and 1, close bracket, and I get 0, so theta is equal to 0 degrees. And how about this one, trying to find t? Well, if you didn't get those previous two answers, pause and have a go now. You should do shift cos minus 1 of 0.5, and you should have got that t is equal to 60 degrees. Okay, so there we go. Now let's apply the cosine rule. Now the cosine rule, when you're trying to find an angle, let's remind ourselves what the cosine rule is. If you're not sure, try and write it down from memory now, and then compare by clicking play to see if you wrote a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. Now, helpfully I've already labelled this triangle up. Remember, the cosine rule works for any type of triangle. It doesn't have to be a right angle triangle, which you need for Pythagoras and standard trigonometry SOHCAHTOA. This works for any type of triangle where the capital letter is the angle and opposite that angle is the lowercase letter, so A, B and C. So here I'm trying to find this angle A here, that's what I want to know. And so I've labelled this A, that means this opposite length here is A. Actually I don't know the other two angles, but I don't need to know them because I've got B and I've got C here. So all I need to do is substitute everything in. I know that A is 11, so I can write 11 squared is equal to B, which is 5 squared, plus C, which is 7 squared, minus 2 times 5 times 7 cos A, and of course I don't know A, so that's what I'm trying to find. Okay, so now we could just try and put everything together here. 11 squared is 121, and 5 squared is 25, and 7 squared is 49. So if I do 25 plus 49, I get 74, minus 2 times 5 times 7, 2 times 5 times 7 is 70. So I'm taking away 70 cos A. So I just need to rearrange this now to make cos A the subject. So if I subtract 74 from both sides, I'm going to get 47 is equal to negative 70 cos A. And if I divide by negative 70, 47 divided by negative 70, well, I could either put it as a fraction, negative 47 over 70, or I could write that as a decimal. If I'm writing it as a decimal, I need to make sure I write it to quite a few decimal places, like 4 or 5, to make sure I don't lose accuracy in my final mark. I would say leave it as a fraction, because when things are in fraction form, then you know that you're not going to lose any accuracy, and you're being as exact as you can be. So we've got negative 47 over 70 is equal to cos A. Right, so I need to find out what A is, so I'm going to do what I did here. I can do shift and cos minus 1, shift and cos to get cos minus 1, and then I can put negative 47 over 70 into this negative 47 over 70. And I get that A is equal to 132.17741, etc. degrees. So if we go to 2 decimal places, it's 132.18 degrees. So that's my first example, and you can see that because I made this example up, it's not really to scale at all, is it? In fact, this angle would be much larger if this was the case, which perhaps makes sense, in that 11 would be much larger than the 5 and the 7. All right. What I'd like to do is copy this triangle out and have a go at labelling it with A, B and C so that you could find your X. And once you've done that, after pausing, click play. Right, so we've not got an A and B and C to help us for this problem here. So what we're going to do is have to label up A, B and C. Now I'm trying to find this angle here. If you remember your cosine rules, A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2bc cos A. So it's that A there that I'm trying to find. So let's call that A. That would mean that the 15 is my lowercase a, and then it doesn't actually matter which my B and C are, so I'm going to say B is 20, C is equal to 9. I'm going to write out my cosine rule. I'd like you to do that now, please. Try and avoid looking at the screen, and then click play once you've had a go, and you should have written A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2bc cos A. Alright. What do I need to do first? Say it out loud. That's right, we need to substitute all these values in. So I need to substitute A is 15, B is 20 now, C is 9, and then minus 2 times B, which is 20, times C, which is 9, cos A. My next step is going to be simplifying all of this, so I'm going to have 15 squared, which is 225, is equal to 20 squared plus 9 squared. So if I do 20 squared plus 9 squared, I think that's going to be 481, minus 2 times 9, 2 times 20 times 9. So I'm taking away 360 cos A. Have a go at this point, because this is not easy to rearrange this problem. It's a relatively difficult rearrangement. Pause the video and have a go at rearranging this to make cos A the subject, because the last thing you're going to do is try and do the pause and do the whole question. So let's check you can do this step before you have a go at doing the whole thing from the beginning. So pause and then click play when you're ready to make cos A the subject, just like we had cos A as the subject here, or equal to cos A here. Right, let's see what you did. So hopefully you decide I'm going to start by subtracting 481 from both sides. So if I do 225 minus 481, I'm going to get negative 256 is equal to my negative 360 cos A. And then if I divide it by negative 360 on both sides, I'm going to get a simplified answer of negative 32 over 45 equaling cos A. If you'd written that as a decimal, you would have got 0.7111 recurring. Alright, what do we need to do to find A? Yeah, we need to do cos minus 1 of our 32 over 45, or cos minus 1 of our 0.71 recurring. And if I do that, then we get that A is equal to 44.674. If we did that to 2 decimal places, we'd get 44.67 degrees. Okay, I'd like you to pause the video and have a go at this final triangle here now. So pause and have a go at this triangle here, starting from labelling it and working your way through to find out what Y is. Okay, so clicking play again, let's see if you got the right answer. We're going to label this A, lowercase a, this B, this C. You might have chosen the opposites for B's and C's, that's fine. And we'd substitute into our formula to get 8 squared is equal to 7 squared plus 9 squared minus 2 times 7 times 9 cos of y you might have written, or cos A if you chose to work with A. So we're going to have 64 is equal to 7 squared plus 9 squared is 130, minus 2 times 7 times 9 is 126 cos A. So if I do 64 minus my 130, and then I divide that by negative 126, then we should have got 11 over 21 as equal to our cos A, and taking the inverse cos of that, we should have got that A was equal to 58.41 degrees to 2 decimal places. Of course, for all of these, I just realised I made a mistake, because actually, apart from this very first one, we were actually told this was x and this was y, so actually I should be concluding that y was 58.41 degrees here, because I was trying to find y, not a, and actually, this means my x was 44.67. If you've not got notes on the cosine rule, then I would make one of these three an example in your books. Perhaps even try and make your own example if you're feeling confident, and label the steps you need to go through. I hope that was helpful.